today we are looking at the 20th anniversary Scott Pilgrim box set. This is the color edition, published by Oni Comics and written and illustrated by Bryan Lee O'Malley. All right, Omnibuddies, Mitch here, and yes, today we are looking at this gorgeous box set by Oni, and and it's the entire Scott Pilgrim collection, all 6 volumes plus some extra goodies in here. It's actually 7 volumes with the extra goodies of a lot of extra stuff in here, but dang, you can get this in color or black and white. Whichever you prefer. It was originally published in black and white, so some people prefer that. I ended up trying out the color edition. I don't know why, just on a whim. I was trying to decide which one to go with, and I just jumped onto the color edition. Normally, I like to go with the editions that include the art as it was originally published, but for some reason, I just went with it. I feel like the color editions go, like, it just kind of, it fits the world of Scott Pilgrim more, but that's kind of personal preference, and a lot of people might disagree with me on that. So when you look at this, you can know that there is the black and white box set out there. I believe it's blue instead of red on here, so there might be yellow, something like that. It's not the red. The red is the color editions. So if it's another box set color, that is the black and white editions. Anyways, I had not ever watched the Scott Pilgrim movie, and I had not read Scott Pilgrim until I got this beautiful box set, and I had been wanting to for a while. I'd been really wanting to watch the movie for a while, so I waited until I got this, and then I finally read it, and then I went and watched the movie. So I'll give my thoughts on the movie as it represents the books at the end of this video. So if you're interested in my thoughts on that, stick around. But for now, we're going to lay this down on the table and check out this box set. All right, so here we have the Scott Pilgrim 20th anniversary edition. This is the box set, and like I said, the color box set. As you can see, it's got this super cool, like, it looks like it's PlayStation, like a PS5, PlayStation 2. Yeah, it's kind of got that PSP, PlayStation 2 vibe going on with its design aesthetic, especially the black and white edition, which I think is it yellow or blue or something like that instead of red? It's a different color. Yeah, all this gray on here. So here's the box set all the way around the sides, Scott Pilgrim 20. Here on the back, and then the top is yeah, here we go, boom. Oh, and of course I have it upside down. So this is the clamshell, little magnets in here, so it like clamps together nicely. And I love the interior checkerboard design, super nice, gorgeous work on this. So you have all 6 volumes plus the collected extras in here. So I will first kind of go through a little bit of this here. So you have all the volumes in here. Boom. I gotta say, these books are really nice quality. They are kind of a standard size hardcover edition. So they are not like the most massive editions or anything like that, but it does work really well with the actual story too. And they got these really nice covers. They all featuring different characters that are kind of some of the main people in those volumes. So super cool. And then, you know, it's got some protection in here too, but yeah, really nice quality overall. And a little bit of spot gloss on, not the covers or anything like that, but a little bit of spot gloss on the pages or on the spines. And then, let's see. So overall, like, each book has different color end papers and all that. So I did some photos of these books, and then I read them, and now I am opening them up again. They tend to lay pretty flat. They're really nice like that, and they have a great eye hole going on for these. So really nice quality bind overall. The paper is a nice matte finish, which fits fits the art and the style really well. And like obviously no loose pages. And here, grab a little light over here. You can't, I mean, if you're going to hold light underneath it, you'll see through, but even far away, you can see with a really bright light right off the camera. You're not really seeing at all through these pages. Nice and thick pages and really nice quality for the inking and all that. I didn't notice any discoloration or anything like that going on from the from print quality or anything like that. That is for sure. So that, yeah, so that is basically a quick look at this. You can get it for all kinds of different prices. I believe like you can pick it up at Ollie's for like $50 right now, but overall it does MRSP in the US is $250 USD or 335 Canadian, which I guess I should have just said only Canadian at this point because it is a Canadian-based story. But hey, you know what? Speaking of the story, let's dive into the actual story. Okay, so diving into the story, we have obviously all 6 volumes here. Each one kind of collects a little bit of a different arc as you know, it all flows together and all that. But usually most of them will either wrap up just at the end or just at the beginning of the next volume with the overall arcs. This follows a very unlikable Scott Pilgrim as he is in a band, and evidently he's pretty good in the band as a guitarist, but he is also a huge pain in the butt, just a huge burnout, and always like just he's just kind of a leech on his friends and society. He overall, like, I mean, he gets better throughout the story, but he's a pretty unlikable character as you're reading these stories and following along. He just makes some decisions that you're like, come on, dude. Starting off with his first girlfriend, who, well, that he's dating during this, and she is a high school underage, like not 18 girl, and he is, I think, early 20s, 23 or something like that. And it's like, it's a little creepy, bro. I don't know. I don't think I'd condone that. And even his bandmates and friends are kind of questioning him and all that. And he's like I said, he's a burnout and he is a loser and can't keep work and can't keep jobs, and he does not understand how to interact with the ladies at all. But for some reason, he he attracts some of the ladies and the ladies in this book, and yeah, so I would not take advice, or uh, he is not a good example of a good boyfriend, or really a good friend half the time, because he is just a leech off of everyone, not just financially but emotionally and all of that. So basically he starts dating this one girl, but then he meets this other girl, and all of a sudden he starts to kind of fall for her, and then stuff starts happening, and then all of a sudden he is thrown into this world where he has to fight the ex-boyfriends of his new love interest, and also has to kind of decide if he is interested in pursuing this relationship with her, because one, she's kind of hard to get, and two, he has to fight people. But apparently he's a really good fighter and a really good guitarist. So I don't understand the laws of this universe whatsoever, but you kind of got to roll with it. And so each book, he gets a little deeper and deeper into the fight scene of having to fight for his new possible love interest. But he definitely has to deal with some stuff that no boyfriend should really have to deal with either. But he's willing to do it because he's not a smart fellow, and yeah. But then he goes back and forth on it. This story does scoot along really fast, by the way. I mean, there's some dialogue heavy pages in here, but overall, I think I was able to read one of these books over, hour or two. So I read, I think, this entire box set in about maybe a week or so, maybe 2 weeks, but it was pretty quick. And it moves along at a solid clip and doesn't really stall out or anything like that. There's a lot of stuff happening. Each, the new evil X's that he has to fight. There's a new one each book, or sometimes a couple each book, or some of them are introduced while others are then left in the dust, as it were. So really fun and interesting story. The character of Scott Pilgrim, he's got some good qualities, but overall, man, he is a not, in my opinion, a likable character. But the story itself is super interesting and definitely pulls you along and has some really cool, fun elements to it. All right, so that is a quick look at the story. Now let's take a quick look at the art. Okay, so jumping in, I've already kind of flipped through the first few volumes of the art, so you've gotten a little bit of an idea of that. I will say the art style is really good. It's very cartoony. It definitely leans into the ridiculousness of, the panels, and there's not like a whole bunch of crazy panel structure or layout when it comes to the illustrations. It's pretty straightforward overall. There are, it's, left to right, top to bottom, all of that. But it definitely does have some fun panels and fun ways of doing things. It does mix it up a little bit, so it's not just, 3x3 panels or whatever it is the entire time. And it's never, I mean, like I said, it's a pretty basic structure for how it lays out and reads, but so you don't ever get lost in the paneling. There's some books where you kind of got to think about where you're supposed to go next. I'm thinking of like books like Cursed Pirate Girl, where you actually got to that's half the job, is thinking about where you're supposed to follow to the next panel or next dialogue box. Not with this. The character expressions are really good, even though you can see they're pretty basic. O'Malley does a really good job you getting a lot of emotion into his characters with not so much depth with the actual illustrations themselves. So he does a really nice job with it. I never thought it was, too rudimentary or childish. It definitely, like I said, leans into that fun, cartoony art style, but it doesn't go overboard with it. Definitely has fun with it, but never takes you out of the story, and it just kind of rolls with it. And there are some panels, like a lot of it, he does just do the gradient backgrounds or plain backgrounds with them, sitting on the objects or interacting with the only objects in the panel. But he definitely does hit some, get some detail in there too, and does some nice, cool, isometric looking stuff. When it comes to the color, I really enjoyed the color of this book. I know it was originally published in black and white, so some purists might really dislike that. However, I think with the story and leaning into the fantastical, kind of crazy, kooky storytelling, I think that the vibrant colors really, really help to tell the story and tell it in a fun way and be more interactive. So I really enjoyed the coloring of this book, or books. So like I said, to each their own, but this is what you'll get. And they do, I think it was volume 3 or 4 or something like that, where they actually have an editor's note in here about how the joke was a lot funnier when it was published in black and white. And it doesn't really make any sense in color. So reading it in that context and then seeing that editor's note was really funny. And that's one of the parts I actually laughed out loud at. So, which was in addition to the story, because they had to make an editor's note about the colorization. So super funny. But yeah, that is a quick look at the coloring and the illustration and panel structure and all of that of Scott Pilgrim. So now let's talk about extras. Like I said, you got this great box set that's super well done. But you have in here, at least with the box set, you have this extra collected extras in here. You have a super cool like manual that again leans into that old PlayStation gaming look, and it even looks like when you'd open up one of the games or when you'd get your actual like PS2 system or whatever. You know, it's got that super cool look to it, which just captures it perfectly. You got some stickers in here, which I have not unstuck, I guess. But you got three sticker packs in here. So you got one of one, or one of three, two of three, three of three on there. Really nice quality, thick stickers. And then you got, let's see, let's open it up. And you got this big poster for, whoa, knocking stuff over because the poster is so big. You got this giant poster in here for their band. And so that's one-sided, but definitely looks like one that would be pasted up like on a window or something like that at a record store. And then you got a little bit of a Scott Pilgrim's Precious Little Life, just cool little like flyer for, you know, book release party. So that's super fun. That's I love when they do stuff like this. That harkens back. And then a nice kind of foil lithograph type print. It's not like super thick, but definitely has a little bit of heft to it, and is a really, really cool rainbow foil on here. Really good treatment. As you can see, like no like dented corners or anything. It all stayed really nice condition in here. And then I believe that's everything for the extras outside of this volume 7, which just goes in deep. I mean, yeah, the original pitch in here, two full pages there, and just all this cool stuff in here, just notes about the story and the pages and all that. So it is like a full, I mean, it is a lot of stuff. I have not gone through all of it because, I mean, dang, look at how much stuff is in here. So all about the characters and paneling, the pitch. You got cover art in here. You have just, oh man, like old school looks of the characters and pages and extras and like unpublished stuff and just character studies and tests in here. I mean, come on, it's awesome. And then, yeah, so you got sketchbooks and yeah, really nice sketchbook. I love his, like, it's not necessarily what my preferred art style would be, but he, like, it's not, in my opinion, like, it's not a bad art style. It's an art style that, like I said, wouldn't necessarily always be my first initial preference, but he does a really good job with this art style, and to a point where like I can really, really appreciate it. I love these scanned sketchbook pages in here, more cover art and like just example pages and extra stuff going on, like a lot of stuff. And then yeah, we got turn it sideways, man, so much in here. So if you are, ooh, that's kind of cool. Oh, it's got that old Sonic look to it. I totally missed that one earlier. Love the design. So many good designs in here. And then how to read it. And then, yeah, more illustrations. Let's see what else we got in here. Keep moving, keep moving. Let's see, what's this one? Creating Scott Pilgrim for fun and profit. So yeah, you got thumbnails, layouts, pencils, inks, and post-production in here. So super cool. Keep flipping through here a little bit, get it all. Oh man, love that old 8-bit look. 2-page splash, that's super cool. All right, let's keep going, keep going. Boom, boom. Oh, a little bit more. Almost like a diary level of creation. You know, flattening, coloring Pilgrim, Scott Pilgrim. So yeah, it goes into the challenge of coloring that, flattening, and then flattening colors and all that. So that definitely would be it. This is a lot to go back and recolor and get it all looking correct. That is, I know colors can take a long time and it can be very difficult to do coloring on it post being published. So definitely hats off for the level of detail and work that went into coloring this book. But really cool extra stuff in here. All right, let's get this back in here. And then, yeah, I do appreciate that this box set, some of the box sets have a lot of extra, they take up a lot of extra space, the actual box itself. But this one, come on, get in there. This box set, while it's, you know, adds a little bit of thickness around the edges, it is not much, and it does not take up a lot of extra space on your shelf. So I really appreciate that I can keep the box set on my shelf without it eating up a ton of extra space, because at this point, space is a premium on my shelves. So that is I'd call it a quick look, but that was not very quick. That was pretty thorough, I think. Look at the Scott Pilgrim 20th anniversary box set. All right, so that was the overview, quick look, not so quick look at the Scott Pilgrim 20th anniversary box set. Like I said, I had a ton of fun reading the story. It was so off the wall and weird and kind of fun. I was shocked at how much I hate the main character, and really, like, I don't find many of the characters super likable, but the entire story in and of itself is super fun and interesting and just kept me hooked the whole time. So while I may not have liked Scott Pilgrim as a character, and I thought he was really a bit of a creep for his first girlfriend, not girlfriend, being underage. It was super weird, but overall super cool. The art was great. That box set is chef's kiss, so good. I love the magnetic enclosure for the flaps. It's very akin to if you haven't messed with that box set, but you have the Akira box set. It's very similar to that clamshell magnetic folding, and also, the Akira has that checkered box interior stuff going on a lot of the things. So very similar, but yeah. So like I said at the beginning of this video, I had never watched the movie because I wanted to read the books first. So after I read these books, then took a little bit of time, digested these books, thought about them, and then I went and watched the movie. And I gotta say, the movie did a pretty decent job at capturing the highlights, because obviously you can't do all 6 volumes in a just single movie. It's going to take a lot more than that to you'd have to do a whole show miniseries or multiple movies to capture the entire thing. But I really do think that the movie captured the essence of the books and the essence of the story and the characters. And what I do like is it actually downplayed the creepiness a little bit in there. Maybe they kind of glossed over it a little bit, but overall it seemed a little less creepy, which I think makes sense when you're trying to do very mass market Hollywood blockbuster movie type thing. But very cool seeing all these actors from back. Whoa, sorry, trash is going out there. If you could hear that beeping. But very cool seeing all of those actors a lot younger, because I know this movie came out a while ago, but I somehow had missed it. And then by the time I was like wanting to watch it, I'm like, well, now I'm into comics and I should probably read those comics first. So I waited a very long time. And I actually didn't know the story very well, other than like he, for some reason, had to fight the ex-boyfriends, the evil ex-boyfriends. That is about all I knew. So going into it relatively blind was pretty interesting. And like I said, I think they captured the characters and the story's essence really well. And I think they, in the movie, they captured the look and style of the books too, quite a bit. I don't normally, kind of going back to reading the books, I don't normally react, like laugh out loud, cry, or anything like that or like, oh my gosh, or anything like that when I read comics, but there were a few moments in reading these volumes where I genuinely laughed out loud. And there was actually a joke in there, like this made a lot more sense when it wasn't colorized. There was like a editor's note in there, which I don't even know if that's in the black and white box set, but they put it in the colorized box set volumes, making a joke about like her changing her hair color or something like that. Like, wait, you're changing your hair color? I didn't notice, or something, because it was like all black and white and you can't really notice. But in the colorized versions, it's obvious that her hair color is changing all the time and stuff. It was really funny, like some editor's notes like that, and there were some genuinely laugh out loud moments in this series. So that was pretty cool to see that I rarely have happen in these books. But I'll stop talking about it now. If you're interested, I know that these, at least the black and white versions, I've seen a bunch of times, and sometimes the colorized box set have been on sale at like Ollie's bookstore. So if you are, I think it's in the Midwest and South and maybe some of the East Coast, but it's not really out on the West Coast. But if you have an Ollie's near you, I've seen a bunch of these lately pop up for like $50 for the entire box set, which is an absolute steal. So if you're walking by one, check it out and make sure to pick it up and ask your friends if they need a copy too, because you can ship it pretty easily through media mail. Anyways, definitely check it out. Or if you can't find it at an Ollie's near you, you can hit up Organic Price Books. Use code Omnibuddy for $2 off every order. If you're ordering 4 or more books, you can use Omnibuddy Ship It Together, get 5% off your entire order. You can use all kinds of creator codes out there. You get book points. So when you order stuff, you get points that you can then use later. I got like $20 or $30 worth of points in my account. So that's like a free book basically at that point. But yeah, so you can save a ton and get some great shipping and great customer service and all of that through OPB. But like I say in every video, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell for notification, but comment. Let me know in the comments what your favorite comic to video, so comics to movie or TV medium, whatever it is, what your favorite comic to movie or TV book is. I absolutely lately loved Old Guard by Recca, and I am very excited for an Old Guard 2 coming out soon and for all that to continue. There's so much good stuff. I'm constantly shocked by the amount of movies and TV out there that I then find out, wait, that was based off of a comic? They're like, oh yeah, it's super old or like super obscure, but man, it is awesome that I can tell people like, oh yeah, that was a comic, or yeah, where do you think like most of the movies and TV shows come from nowadays? They're all harvested from comics and graphic novels and all that. So super cool. But let me know in the comments what your absolute favorite one is so far, and what one you are most anticipating coming out soon. Because I know there's like Criminal and some other stuff coming out, Old Guard 2, like I said, tons of really good stuff. All right, I'll let you go. I'll stop talking. That's it. Take care. Stay cool.